Hello everyone and welcome to an incredible game you guys suggested. A lot of you have suggested it as it is pretty incredible. Some of you are even saying that it could be even better than Wei Yi's Immortal game against Lazaro Burton Batista that was played in 2016. If you haven't seen it, do check it out and you will be able to make a comparison as I can't really make out. It is a splendid game. Is it better? I have no idea. If you want to check out the link in the description below, first link is the game that is currently deemed as Wei Yi's Immortal game. So here he's playing in the Chinese league. It is round 2 and he's facing international master also from China, Lu Yiping, and well, let's just dive straight into it. It kicks off very early, so you guys will enjoy it. Wei Yi opens with d4. We have d5 by Lu Yiping, c4 going for the queen's gambit, and now pawn to e6, declining the gambit. Knight to c3, we have knight to f6, and now c captures on d5. We have e captures and bishop to g5. So the exchange variation of the positional line of the queen's gambit declined. We have pawn to c6, pawn to e3, and now bishop to e7, sorry, bishop to e7, the most common move here, bishop to f5, second most popular, so still the main line. And now you play something like queen to f3, here you go after the bishop, or you play bishop to d3, or you play queen to b3, go after the b7 pawn, or you play knight to f3. So many very nice developing moves can be played here. By the way, he goes for pawn to g4, and already there are only a handful of games that reach this exact same position. One player that has played g4 is, of course, Badur Jobaba, but he played pretty much any weird move in any position. So, okay, the bishop is attacked, and you can't capture it. If you capture it, then white just starts trading and wins material. Bishop captures on d1, bishop captures on d8, king captures on d8, and now rook captures on d1. And, of course, if you counter the pieces, white is up a full knight. So, of course, you can't do that. After this pawn to g4, bishop back to e6, and now there is a game where bishop to d3 was played. That's the Jobava game, but here we have pawn to h3, and now there is also a known game where knight b to d7 was played, but here we have pawn to h5, and it is now already, as of move 8, that we have a completely new game, and of course those are the games that we enjoy most. The sooner the completely new game comes, the more we enjoy the game. It's how it works. G captures on h5. Okay, you give up one pawn, but at least you stop white's expansion, and now queen to b6, putting pressure on the b2 pawn, and if white gives it up, then the rook will be attacked, the knight will be attacked, and it's not going to be that easy to defend. But Wei Yi doesn't care. Bishop captures on f6, queen captures on b2, now threatening to pick up the knight with check, knight to g to e2 defending the knight, and now bishop to b4. Not worrying about the bishop on f6, you want to play bishop captures on c3. So okay, Wei Yi says bishop captures on g7, I will throw in this a nice Zwischenzug. Bishop captures on c3 with check, knight captures, and queen captures on c3 with check, and now king to e2. And now look at this position. It's move 14, this is Wei Yi's position. What is this? I mean, it's not something that we see very often, and you can't really go queen to c4 check. You would like to make something out of this position, but you can't. If you go queen to c4 check, king f3, and now the queen and the rook are hanging, so here you just resign as black. So after king to e2, rook captures on h5, this is the absolute best move, and now rook to b1, going after rook captures on b7, and here queen to c4 check is played. You could also play a nice calm move like pawn to b6, and then let's say rook to c1, attacks the queen, queen a3, and if rook to g1, king to e7, and the game continues, both kings in very nice opposition here on e2 and d7, and again, not your everyday position, but you know, it's playable for both white and black. However, after rook b1, queen to c4 check was played, now comes king back to e1, and now queen captures on a2. The problem with persisting with queen to c3 check is that now white could just block, and if you trade, for example, captures, and b6, yes, the material is equal, but the plays on both sides of the board, where he has the bishop pair, white's position will be somewhat better. So instead, after king to e1, queen captures on a2 was played, Lu Yiping grabs another pawn, and now rook to a1. Attacks the queen, queen b2, and now, okay, if you capture on h5, then queen captures on a1 happens. By the way, he says that's exactly what we need. So queen captures on h5, queen captures on a1 with check, king to e2, and now the problem for black is that even though the white king is on e2. The black queen is already deep in white's camp. That f3 square is such a safe haven for the white king. There's no way to get to it. So here king to d7 was played and queen to h8 now. Now you can put the bishop on f6, play queen to d8, and this will be checkmate. So Yiping has to be very, very careful in how he proceeds here. The problem is, imagine if you could somehow check the white king, and if white king goes to f3, if your bishop was on f5, play bishop to e4, check. It all looks very nice, but it's absolutely worthless. Problem is that even if you prepare this, let's say bishop to f5, because you're not in any serious danger of getting checkmated, of course white will have to prepare it first. Now queen to b2 check, king f3, and even bishop to e4 check does nothing for black. King to g3, and you have nothing better. You can capture the rook, but now queen captures on f7 check, and you're getting checkmated whatever you play. For example, king to c8, you're going to deliver a check with the queen, queen to c7 with check, king to c7 with check, bishop to e5 check, king goes to b6, and now queen to c8, d8 will be checkmate, as the bishop on f1 is doing such a fine job covering all of these squares, and the pawn covers the c5 square. So that's the problem with a slow move like bishop to f5, although you really want to play it. So here pawn to b5 was played, creating some more room on the queen side for the king, and this will simply not do. The only way to play was queen to b1, but who's to make sense of what's what in a position like this? So here b5 was played, rook to g1. Here also bishop to e5 works very nicely. Then the queen can come in. But rook to g1 was played, and now bishop to f5. But it's not a problem. Just queen to f8, putting pressure on the pawn here. And now bishop to d3 check. This is a beautiful maneuver by Liu Yiping. If Wei Yi accepts, then it's a draw. If king captures on d3, then queen to d1 check, and you cannot escape. Of course, the pawn covers d squares. You have to go to c3, and now queen to c1 check. You have to go back, and we have a repetition, because if you go up the board, then you quickly get destroyed. Queen b2 check, king to a5, queen to c3 with check. You can block, okay, queen to b4, but it doesn't matter. Queen to a1 check, and you have no squares for the white king. The queen has to be sacrificed, and once you do that, it's just going to be a very nice checkmate. So instead, after bishop to d3 check, king to f3 was played, and now comes king to c7, starting to run away. If you try bishop g6 to defend the pawn, it doesn't really matter, just bishop f6, and the king hunt continues, so nothing there. So instead, king to c7, we have bishop to e5 with check, king to b7, and now queen to e7 with check. King to a6, and now here comes bishop captures on d3. You could also play king to g2 to prepare it to guard your rook on g1. By the way, he says no need. I'm just gonna sacrifice the rook on g1, or rather the exchange here. So queen captures on g1. You have to capture, otherwise you're just down too much material. And now bishop to f5. And now do you see the real threat? The real threat is bishop c7 followed by bishop to c8 checkmate. A beautiful double bishop checkmate. Also one of the nicer examples on why bishops are so much better than knights in positions like these. So queen to d1 check was played, king to f4, and now queen to d2, trying to get some sort of a perpetual here against the white king, but king to g3, nothing to worry about. Queen to e1, bishop to c7, now preparing bishop to c8 checkmate, and okay, you can stop it, but not for very long. Queen to g1 check was played, king to f3, and now queen to g8, stopping bishop to c8. And now many moves are winning here, but there's one maneuver that's simply instant resigns for black. So feel free to pause the video and try to find the absolute best move for white here while I give you a couple of seconds. So for those of you who were able to do it, congratulations on realizing that the queen must come to c7, not the bishop. And for those of you who just want to enjoy the show, it is a move like bishop to f4 or bishop to e5 or bishop to g3. Basically, you just move the bishop from this diagonal and you vacate the c7 square for the white queen. Here on f4, it kind of makes sense as it covers the most squares on the board, and you don't really have a move. For example, queen to h8, queen to c7 will be played, and there is no defense against bishop to c8 checkmate. The only way to defend is to start giving up more material, and there's, I mean, there's just no way to live. So instead, after king to g8, pawn to h4 was played. I mean, any move is winning, but this was just winning on the spot. So here, queen to h8, and now king to g3. We have queen to g7 check, king to h3, and queen to h8. Why we missed that one and found this one? Well, because now he will take all the squares away from the black queen. Bishop g4, pawn to f6, as black is really without a move, and now bishop to e6, taking away one more square from the black queen, and now you really have no squares on the back rank. You can move the queen, and then bishop to c8 will be checkmate, or you can try another move, but I mean, it doesn't really work. King to b7 was played. Here, bishop to d8 check opens up a discovery, and he was in this position on move 37. The Lu Yiping resigned the game, as there is nothing more to be done here. Now the queen no longer covers the c8 square, and that's it. Once the king moves, king to a6, bishop to c8 will be checkmate, and there you have it. Another, well, it didn't happen on the board, but if the game continued, another beautiful double bishop checkmate. So there we have it, another Wei Yi masterpiece. He just comes out of nowhere and, you know, completely destroys everyone. Now, while I'm looking at it, I might have even gotten his rating wrong, because he has been doing incredibly well. Playing, he won in round 1 also. So let me just check the live ratings here. So let me just check that. Yeah, he's 2734.9 here on the live ratings list. So he is doing better than he is here in the video. But these are live ratings, and in the video I always put the ratings that come out on the first of each month. So okay, he's doing very well. So yeah, that's the game. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, a beautiful double bishop checkmate would happen if the game had continued. If you guys haven't seen Wei Yi's game from 2017 against Lazaro Berton Batista, do check it out. Will be the first link in the description below. It's a bit of an older video, but you get a chance to see how, you know, the channel progressed, and you know, how the videos are compared to the older videos, and you can also compare the game. So I would very much enjoy it if you guys settle it. Is this the new Immortal, or does his Immortal from 2017 still stands? So yeah, that's the game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I would like to thank Derek King, Alexander Yadrola, Dean Bodenham, Mason Yaya, and David Quintilian for a contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot. I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you soon, continuing to check up on your wonderful suggestions such as this one, and whatever else happens in the chess world. So thank you all. I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your day. And tomorrow, a big surprise: we will have a live stream on this channel. I will have 2 guests, and we will be discussing many great things. I will not spoil it just yet. I will announce it in the next video, but you know, just a heads up. Until then, see you soon.